Hello, Vinyl community. I'm back to do some sort of special video, I guess, for three reasons. First of all, I just sort of have 700 subscribers, and by the time people have seen this, maybe I have less. I don't know, but yeah, super happy, and thank you so much everyone who subscribed. Amazing, as always when we hit some sort of mark. Yeah, 700, insane. Listening to me babble on. Mm. Yeah, this is live actually, or like I'm recording this through the YouTube thingy, so no editing today. I have some lack of time, I think. The second reason is because of the Opeth reissue of Ghost Memories that came out today or yesterday maybe, but I got it today. Import from Germany. A lot of colors. I got the black one, 300 copies, because of the sound quality. For some reason, I don't know. I love black vinyl. I think that's the best one. Got two posters, one in the package and one in the LP. So I have two posters, and I won't use any one of them. So, but cool to have. Sounds great. Fuck, it sounds great. This is actually my favorite Opeth record. It's the first one I really started listening to when I got into Opeth, just when they released it. That got me into a lot of other progressive music, both new modern progressive music and old, and also a lot of metal with progressive elements in it. So I have a lot to thank this record for, and it is one of my favorite records of all time. So having it on vinyl is just so cool, because I've been close to buying the original like three times maybe, but I always got outbid, and it's been too much money actually for me. So this was good thing. So thank you so much, Opeth. And the third reason I'm doing this is to celebrate both the 700 subscribers and the release of the Opeth record. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna jump on the train here. The Show Me 10 kind of thread that's been going around, and I'm gonna twist it a little bit. I'm gonna show you records more or less connected to Micke Åkerfeldt, the singer, songwriter, guitarist, and creative mind of Opeth. One of my idols, just because the guy is just so super cool, down to earth, and he has one of the most mind-blowing record collections for a progressive, guy like me. Um, just insane, and I've only seen bits and pieces of it in radio shows, interviews, magazines, stuff like that. Things he talked about, and forums, things he talked about and shown and played and stuff like that. So the 10 records I'm going to show you, maybe more than 10, but the things I pulled anyway, is connected to Micke Åkerfeldt's record collection in one way or another. But most of all, it's the reason, Micke Åkerfeldt is the reason that I have them in my collection. Most of them, I think, at least. And it's going to be a lot of thinking here, because I say think a lot. Okay, so just let's begin. And Miko, this is almost like a tribute to you, man, because for once you are the one who told me about the reissue, and I'm so glad that you did. So thank you so much for that. And the second is, I know you love Micke Åkerfeldt's music as much as I do. So if you haven't heard any of the things that I'm showing, please do, because I know that you will like every single piece of music or record that I'm going to show. So let's start a little bit slow by showing one of the things that he played on the radio from his collection. Well, glare. Lauren Iroh's New York Tenenberry, I think it's called. Tenenberry. Singer-songwriter from the 70s. Released a couple of records. I have two of them. Both are really, really good. Awesome voice, great songwriting, and just that kind of feeling. I'm going to say the Joni Mitchell kind of feeling, but more interesting in my opinion. A lot more folky and more interesting. So, highly recommended. Next one I'm going to show is no surprise. Micke has talked about this one in a lot of interviews for the guitar playing, but also the voice. Five Live Left by Nick Drake, one of the best records. I mean, come on, one of the best records. Has to be. Just a freaking masterpiece. Super glad when I got this in Berlin, I think it was. Yeah, Berlin. Really, really good. But everyone knows about this, and this is also for Mikko. You know, he showed the box sets, all three of them. Looks like great box sets. But I have all three on like two bootlegs, and that one's like a second press on Island or something like that. So I think I'm pretty done, and I have the CDs, stuff like that also. So I don't think I'll get the box sets. Next one, first time I heard this was on Micke's radio show, because he played one song from this. But a lot of people talked about this record back in the early days of the VC, like Derek and Fred and Tony and Jeff Recordman talked about this. So I knew about it, but I hadn't heard it until one song played by Micke Åkerfeldt in the radio show. And it actually got me, this is the Four Men with Beards reissue, but it actually got me 3 listens, I think, all the way through before I really got into this record. And when I did, man, what a great record. Like, let's say folk, psych, maybe, with definitely with progressive, let's say elements, but with some progressive feeling about it anyway. But most of all, maybe a folk psych record. Amazing record. Many of you that, out there already have that one. This was one of the I ordered this instantly when Micke talked about it in the Swedish radio show. He played one song from this. But he talked about it with so great passion that I didn't need to listen to it anymore. I just ordered it right away, a reissue of this, of course. Linda Parhack's Parallelograms or something like that. Yeah, look for yourselves. But this is one of his favorite albums. He has said in an interview that she is his idol, and I think I'm not wrong when I say that he had a thing or two to do with the reissues of her for this album. She only made one. And she thanks both him and Steve Wilson in the liner notes of the CD reissue. A wonderful record. Also, just like Laura Nyro, interesting voice, folky singer-songwriter record. Much more interesting than any of the things that Joni Mitchell released. Even if Joni Mitchell is not she's not a bad artist at all. But you know, we have heard a lot of Joni Mitchell material. But you know, Neporax is interesting. You know, not something you hear every day. This is a no-brainer. Played this in the radio show also. Caravan in the Atlanta Grey and Pink. This was also one that I knew about in the VC or through the VC before I bought it. But listening to it and finding a copy after Micke Åkerfeldt talked about it, this like the Canterbury sound mushed into one record. Yeah, 10 all the way through. Really amazing Canterbury prog. You know, if you don't have it, if you haven't heard it, please do. It's super good, like Genesis, stuff like that. August, Wishbone Ash. This one that I listen to a lot, but I always almost forget how it sounds. But it's not super progressive, more heavy music. But definitely with progressive elements in it. But one that Micke Åkerfeldt also talked about, and one that you can find pretty cheap in almost any record store, I believe, that you should listen to if you're a fan of heavier music, old musical prog. This one was also definitely one that I found through Micke Åkerfeldt, Fandango's Space by Carmen. He played one song on the radio show from this one, and I hunted it down instantly. Found it in a store in south of Sweden. And this is flamenco prog. But don't be scared of that. This is such a great fucking record. It's been issued with two covers, one with a big ass rose here, and this one I don't know which came first. This I think is the second press on Regal is a Xenophon, and I know Sarah has a copy of this. I talked with her when she showed this in the Facebook page, I think, and she liked it too. But I think this is a masterpiece. It's just that damn good. So Miko, if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's just of all the records I'm going to show you, and I've shown this record a lot, but of all the records I'm going to show, this is the most no-brainer of them all, and I haven't seen anyone in VC show this. Not the original, that would be cool to see an original of this, but not a reissue, nothing. It's the message record from Books and Dreams, and it's hard to describe this record by genre, but it's like pre-metal drone kraut prog, maybe. It's just, when I tell like my friends about this record, I say that it's like listening to the devil's music, because it's so heavy and evil in its sound, but great. I think it's labeled as krautrock, but I'm not super sure. But once again, a masterpiece of a record, and I can't understand why there isn't more people having this, or why this isn't reissued bigger than it is. But the original of this is super expensive. Yeah, an awesome record. And this is also a no-brainer. Micke has talked about this one. Lucifer's Friends first. Not that progressive, more heavy rock, but still really good. And so cool that this was recognized and reissued by Back to Black, I think, Records. Yeah, really good also. Maybe not a 10, but a 8 at least. This is a 10. Everyone should own this. And I've talked about this a million times. McDonald & Giles, the kind of King Crimson breakout kind of thing, folk, prog maybe. I know Mark of the Dead Wax is still hunting for the perfect copy of this one, and I think that's pretty cool. When I first searched for this, it was super hard to find a copy of it. So this is like a second or third press or something like that, pretty beat. But I've seen it after that, and it's often pretty expensive, not super expensive, but it costs money. But man, I would love a original island of this. That would be so cool. Yeah. And one more that I haven't seen shown a lot in the VC, if ever, Gracious by Gracious, masterpiece of a prog record from the Vertigo label back with when they did the Vertigo Swirl. One of few Swirl records that I have, and this is also awesome. And Micke, I think Micke Åkerfeldt played this on the radio show, and that's why I bought it, but I'm not super sure. But nonetheless, great record. And the last one, and the one that everyone has, or if they don't, they should grab it right away, the Comus record. I mean, man, oh man, what a great record. Just insane. I think that this was released or reissued just in the beginning of the VC, so everyone that I talked with back then grabbed a copy of this one. But I know that Big Star got one, and Tony, and we talked about this a lot. But I think that Micke Åkerfeldt had something to do with the release of this and their popularity rising. Yeah, they played on a Swedish festival at sea, the Mellow Boat, I think it's called. So they're touring now, and they released a new record 4 years after this one, and they released a live record from the Mellow Boat tour. But those are okay. This is a masterpiece. Also, you know, first time I heard this, I couldn't imagine that there were this kind of music that wasn't recognized, you know, that people didn't know about until, you know, Rise Above Records in this case reissued it. So yeah, this is the kind of music I want to find through digging, listening, and, you know, getting information on net and stuff like that about one part of this great thing called record collecting, you know, getting to hear new music through the vinyl. Because I don't buy CDs anymore, and I listen a lot to Spotify and stuff like that, and digital downloading. But when I do the streamed music and stuff like that, I almost only listen to stuff that I already know and specific tunes that I know. So not as much entire records, but when getting it on vinyl and listening to it on vinyl, I have the entire experience served to me. And that's what I love about vinyl records. But okay, that's enough for me now. 16 minutes, fuck. I hope you dig the record. Please let me know if you know anything, if you want to know anything more about, you know, the records or Opeth, and, you know, just, you know, let the comments begin. But have a great day, everyone. Bye. Stop recording.